let's go ahead and talk about logistics, right? Now, in my opinion, successful logistics is all about proper management. It's all about how you manage your resources. It's all about how you manage storage and transportation of goods and how you can nail down that last mile or last leg logistics and maximize customer retention. Businesses all over the world depend on logistics. And did you know that it is the largest industry in the world? Today, the logistics industry is almost worth $9.6 trillion globally, and it generates about 300,000 jobs annually. So clearly, you can see that logistics is a vast industry, and it's an industry that is on the rise and has unlimited scope for growth. However, logistics can be tricky if you don't have the right tools. I mean, every business needs help maximizing utility of resources. Businesses need help enhancing transparency, but most importantly, they need help ensuring safety and visibility through their entire supply chain, which is why we are here today to talk about solutions. So we will wait for a couple minutes and then we'll start talking about how AI video telematics can actually help you gain more transparency and increase safety in your business. Please note that this webinar is brought to you by the collaboration of two giants, if I may say. So we have collaborated with Streamax, and we are basically going to talk about solutions, both hardware and software, which is totally going to change the way you do business. So as people are joining, we'll basically start talking about the video telematics solutions. Now, AI-based video telematics solutions, which include smart dash cams, which include driver monitoring systems and ADAS, have mitigated safety risk and the frequency of collisions universally. And today we're here to dissect this trend and actually throw light on some of these AI-based telematics tools that you could use to streamline your business. So I guess the main agenda or the aim of this webinar is basically to discuss how AI-based video telematics can make operations in logistics industry safer and more productive. All right. So I know we're really excited to start talking about AI video telematics because it is an interesting topic and it is an interesting trend. But before that, I'd like to quickly take you through the agenda of today's webinar so you know what to expect from this session. Now, so we'll start off by talking a little bit about Uffizio and Streamax. So as I mentioned, this webinar is brought to you by collaboration of Streamax Technology and Uffizio. So we'll talk a little bit about what these companies do and what they have to offer. Next, we'll start by talking about some of the major pain points or major challenges that troubles the logistics industry. And then we'll explain how AI video telematics solutions can help overcome these challenges. And then I think the major chunk of the webinar will be basically going over what Uffizio and Streamax have to offer. So you'll basically get to see product demonstrations, and you'll be able to see our platform live. So you get an idea as to what we are talking. And then finally, like I mentioned, we have some time for question and answers. And today's panel will be taking up your questions live. So do wait for that. And if you have any questions, just type it in the Q&A box. All right. I feel like I've been talking a lot, even without introducing myself. So let's get that out of the way. So today's webinar is led by Leons Liu from Streamax and Prachi Bhandotia, which is me, from Uffizio. Leons, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Prachi, for letting me know how big this market is. That's really impressive. And also, let me have more confidence that the solution provided together by Uffizio and the Streamax will definitely bring more value to our partners. And let me introduce myself first. My name is Leon Liu. I'm the marketing manager for Asia Pacific region at Streamax. I have worked in the video surveillance industry for about 4 years. I'm familiar with what kind of value that AI can bring into video surveillance industry. So like the same or even more, that I believe AI can bring more value to logistics industry as well, like less personnel, higher efficiency, lower storage cost, and lower labor cost. So we're going to show more details in latest presentation. That's all about me. And let me hand this over to Prachi. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for that introduction, Leons. So I am Prachi Bhanutia. I do content marketing and blogging at Uffizio. Now, I can say the reason what I love what I do, or rather, I should say I'm really passionate about what I do, is because our telematics solutions basically serve the critical services of our society. So Uffizio's premium offering, which is Traxi, it has helped over 16 different industry verticals, and we have more than 45 use cases at hand. So from planning optimum routes for ambulances and police trucks to tracking waste management vehicles, we do it all. And Traxi is not only transforming every fleet manager's life, but is also bringing significant change in the society. So that's why I love spreading awareness about what our solutions can do. All right, now that I've already talked a little bit about what Uffizio does, let's actually delve into a quick statistical summary of Uffizio. So Uffizio has conducted successful business enterprises in over 65 countries. And along with this, we have an extensive hardware partner network. Now, what this means for you is that with Uffizio, you never have to worry about your hardware needs. Our platform is hardware independent, so we'll be happy to work around your choice of hardware. And if you find something that is already integrated on our platform, we'll be happy to look into that as well. However, I feel that what truly sets us apart is the fact that we provide white label customizable solutions. So what this means for you is that you can keep using our services, but keep your brand name while doing so. And I think that is really cool for businesses who want to maintain their brand integrity. Finally, let's talk a little bit about our platform. So currently, there are about 1.2K devices integrated on Uffizio's platform. And we have about 50,000 happy customers. And we work around the clock to make sure that we serve them in the best way we possibly can. So that was all about Uffizio, and we'd like to talk more. But I do want to listen from Leon's as he talks about Streamax.
Thank you. That's brilliant. Actually, beside those details, during the cooperation with Uffizio, we found out that Uffizio is a really professional company, and all the employees are fulfilled of responsibility and enthusiasm. So it's really our honor to work with Uffizio. So as you can see, Streamax was founded in Shenzhen, China in 2002. 19 years later, we have grown into a company with more than 2,200 employees and 800 R&D engineers. We went public in 2019, and we are traded in Shenzhen Stock Exchange now. We protect more than 2.1 million commercial vehicles and have operations in most regions around the world. So we have 11 branch offices. We ranked the #1 in video telematics device providers from Burger Insight reports, and the compound annual growth rate of revenue is more than 40% over the past 5 years. So the revenue of 2020 is $245 million USD. So with that strong background and the powerful ability, we do believe that Streamax can provide a highly specialized solution to all commercial local workers by empowering local partners around the world. So that's all about Streamax.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction, Leon. That was really great. So now that we're familiar with what Uffizio and Streamax bring to the table, we can actually start talking about how businesses in the logistics and the transportation industry can benefit from this. So I think in the beginning of the webinar, I did talk about, how big the logistics industry is. It's worth $9.6 trillion and it generates so much revenue. So clearly, a lot of businesses, they depend on logistics, and in such a vast industry, there are big challenges that need to be tackled. So why don't we start talking a little bit about the pain points in this industry? Leons, do you want to start by actually talking about the cost of accidents that businesses face in this industry?
Yes, of course. So as you can see from the picture, so there's an accident. So for the driver, even for the family of the driver, so when there's accident, the cost is very huge. According to the report, National Transportation Safety Board reports, so the average cost of an engine crash is $200,000, and the average cost of a tanker crash is $3.5 million. And the largest truck accident settlement was $34 million. You can both all find that the cost is really big. So the reason we want to promote AI video telematics in this industry, we want to lower the possibility of this accident. And we can show you some other data. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah, there are some numbers I want to emphasize. 40%, 40%, and 90%. So 40% of non-performance driver-related crashes are due to falling asleep while driving. After a long time drive, so the driver will easily fall asleep. So that is bad behaviors we need to incredible results. And another one is 40% of all driver-related crashes are due to the driving inattention. And another number is 90% of rear-end accident can be prevented with 1.5 seconds of advanced warning. So with that AI in our trucks, so like we can lower the possibility of this accident and provide education to the drivers to keep the driver in a way schedules. That's really important for that. That's all about the cost of accident, and then let Raj introduce about the cost of today's. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation, Leons. And now let's start by talking about cost of delays. So when I was prepping for this webinar, I actually found an article which was done by the Business Standard. So in this article, they basically interviewed a lot of fleet managers and drivers. And drivers, they actually confessed to long, relentless driving hours. So, sometimes they go even days without sleeping or taking appropriate amount of rest. And as Leon's pointed it out, such negligent behaviors can actually lead to accidents. Now, one of the reasons why drivers have such tight schedules is because of the total cost of delays. Ijaz Ahmed from Patna basically says that even if one truck is late for 1 hour, they basically cut off rupees 200 per delay. So 1 hour of delay can actually cost them significant amount of money. So not only this cost of delays impacts your bottom line, but it also affects your front line. And I'll explain you how. So when your bottom line is scared of lesser payments because of delays, they drive recklessly. Your drivers consider harsh braking and overspeeding just because they don't want to be late. On the other hand, this makes them susceptible to accidents, but it also ruins your fleet health. So the harsher your drivers are driving, the more you are paying in terms of maintenance and repair cost. Other than that, delays means essentially you're unable to fulfill your customer's need. And once you start doing that, and especially in an industry which is such cutthroat, you start losing customers left and right. So if you really think about it, the cost of delays is a lot more than you think. You're not only risking your driver's life, but you're also ruining your fleet health and losing customers. So apart from that, this industry faces a lot of challenges, and I'd like to briefly take you through some of them. Now, the first one that comes to mind is the rising fuel cost and the threat of theft. Now, we all know that fleets can't essentially run without fuel. Fuel is not only an important asset, but it's an expensive one. In fact, fuel expenses, they make up to 33% of the total transportation cost, which is why there's this demand to budget your fuel spend. Transporters who might be in this business for a long time, or even fleet managers who are present here with us today, they may not be new to the idea of fuel theft. Sometimes fuel theft happens even before the petrol tank hits your tank. Fuel siphoning, pilferage, and under refueling, such actions can really dent your ROIs and affect your productivity, which is why you need to have a constant eye on your fuel levels. You need a system that can alert you whenever a fuel theft happens. You need a system that allows you to track your fuel expenses, and Uffizio does all of that. Today, a lot of fleet managers are quickly realizing the importance of budgeting their fuel expenses, which is why they're using a fleet management platform that can help them track their fuel levels in real time. The next major challenge that also I'd like to talk about is driving habits, and especially the driving habits of reckless drivers. Now, you may think that driving recklessly is not a big deal, but if you really focus on data, you'll find that reckless driving increases your maintenance cost and it depreciates your vehicle's health faster than you actually think. So I guess to monitor all of this, in fact, you need a solution that can help you take through all aspects of your fleet, starting from fuel management to tire pressure monitoring system to driver monitoring system. And fleet management systems like Uffizio's can help you do exactly that. So I think these are some of the pain points that I could think of. I think Leon's also has some points he wants to share. Do you want to take over, Leon's?
Yes, totally agree with what Rachi said. From my own understanding, when talking with different end user, different customer, and also according to the logistic industry market report, there are three more pain points like lack of transferability. So in current situation, without installed video devices or remote platform, there is difficulties in how to get a real-time fleet status with live stream. And the fleet managers, they have no ideas what the driver status, what is the cargo status, and even more, when an accident happens, there will be no video evidence provided to the police officer or the insurance company. So that's another pain point. Another one is there will be difficulty coaching drivers. As a long-term job, after a long-term job, so driver will easily get tired of falling asleep if there's no audio or vision notification. So, and they will be under risk when the driver, they are not focused on driving. And we don't have these video cameras. And so there will be lack of fatigue management and behavior management. And also there is no data support to show the driver what they did wrong during the driving. So we're gonna have difficulties in coaching drivers. And another challenge is challenges with the adoption of new technology. So in previous time, new technology means higher cost, and also they are stay far away from real customer needs. Actually, from the report, from the technology shift trend analysis, that we can find out AI plus video telematics technology is becoming more powerful and more affordable. And the track market trend shows that the service market will go from $390 million at 2020 to $1,189 million at 2025 years. So according to that, we believe that AI plus video telematics will provide a brand new service model to this market. Yeah, that's all about the major challenges analysis.
Thank you for that, Leons. That was great. All right, now that we have covered, I think, almost all pain points in this industry, I do want to take a deep dive into the solutions that we have to offer. Video telematics is essentially enhanced by artificial intelligence and machine learning. And there are some great tools that we could talk about. But for the scope of this webinar, we'll basically just talk about two of those important ones. The first is ADAS, and the next is DMS. So let me start by quickly introducing what ADAS is for those who may not know what it is. ADAS stands for Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, and it is a term that is used to describe a growing number of safety functions which are designed to improve driver, passenger, and pedestrian safety. ADAS does this by reducing the severity as well as the frequency of road collisions. ADAS basically does is it warns drivers of any potential dangers and gives them enough time to react to their mistakes so they can take actions before it's too late. All right, so that was all about ADAS. Leons, would you like to explain to our audiences what DMS or driver monitoring systems are?
Yes, of course. Yeah, so when we finish the outside AI, so we can focus on the inside AI, so which means the typing inside AI. So we're going to introduce about the driver monitoring system. And driver monitoring system can show you know what your drivers are doing, how well they're driving, and the level of their alertness. For example, as you can see from this image, so if the driver they are picking up a phone or taxi, or if the driver they are smoking, or the driver are yarning or distractions. So all these kind of bad behaviors will be detected and send it to both your device side and platform side. You will get a notifications. So that is the driver monitoring systems. And more details we can show you next slide. We can show how Streamax can help you, what kind of AI systems we can provide according to these problems, these bad behaviors. So as you can see, the first one is the driver monitoring system. We have 6 different alarms, like the fatigue alarms. So fatigue alarms we divide to yarning, and another different fatigue alarm is the frequently eye blinking, and also you want continuous eye closing. So in that situation, it shows that you're fatigued and you should have a rest. And the second one is phone call. The phone call one, we can detect the mobile phone features and show you to our NVDR, also provide the definitions. The third one is about smoking detections. Obviously, to detect the cigarette features and also provide the locations. The first one is about distractions. There's two kinds of distractions: distracted by looking left and the right, and distracted by the looking down. So in that case, they're not focused on the driving. So we should also provide the notifications. And face recognition, the reason we want face recognition is we want to do the driver identification. In that case, we can know which driver are driving that vehicle and from one time to one time, and we can provide those data to the platform side so that the platform can generate the driver scoreboard. And in that case, they can coach the driver or get the playback videos and send to driver so that they can do the self-coaching as well. The last one is the seatbelt detection. We're going to detect the seatbelt features, and to detect if the driver is wearing that correctly or not. The second system is the advanced driver assistance system. So we have 6 different things. The first one is FCW, we call it forward collision warning. Forward collision warning, we identify the vehicle in front of the lane line and measure the distance and calculate the risk of collision. And the second one is a lane departure warning, which will identify the lane lines and after stably continues identify the lane line, determine whether the current vehicle have a tendency to deviate from the lane. So that will detect the alarm. And the second one is a headway monitoring warning. And the first one is pedestrian collision warning. We're going to have some videos to show you more details. And we also can recognize that stop sign and the speed sign. And in next and future pages, we're going to show you some videos to do that. Another 2 systems after we talked about the front of the vehicle and the cabin, and we want to talk about the side of the trunk and also the cargo schedules. So we do have some other algorithms like the blind spot detection. So we can detect that blind spot, what happened in blind spot, and provide some alarms to that according to the detections. And also we can do the cargo monitoring, provide the live view evidence to the police officer or the fleet managers. Beside those, we can do the backup things. We can back up the data to another storage. And we also have some G-sense detections. We can do the harsh brake detection and the harsh acceleration detections and the sharp turn detections. So those AI functions are combined by different options of the hardwares. So if you want any solutions, you can feel free to contact our Streamax staff or Uffizio staff. Feel free to contact us. So we're going to talk about what kind of AI solution, AI ability we have. As you can see, is a road sensing. So in the road sensing, on the video shows that Streamax have the ability to identify and analyze the status of all the items in the video, like the vehicles and passengers and the traffic signs and the ground marking, lane lines and stop signs, so on. So you can find out all the items are divided into different colors. We're going to provide those data to our algorithm from NDR and analyze if those kind of conditions are triggered or not. So in this second video shows kind of alarm, what kind of alarm triggered. The first one is land departure alarm. The second one is a pedestrian warning. And the third one is the unsafe following distance. And the fourth one is collision warning. Yeah, it will detect the stop sign, the signs, and also some speed signs. Those items are all shown in this video. For this video. And the third one is the behavior and recognition. So as you can see, we can detect if the driver is holding the wheel with one hand or just two hands, and also you can see the seatbelt is off. So all this can allow will be recorded and sent to our platform. And the second video shows what kind of alarms will be triggered when the DMS camera is installed. And this one, so the taxi. So that is taxi warning. Yeah. So you can see the seatbelt shape is also detected. So obviously the driver is wearing seatbelt correctly. So that's the fatigue warning. It's yummy. The taxi again. So and the smoking. So all these kind of alarm will be recorded and uploaded to our platform. So it will generate a kind of report we send to the fleet manager. Yeah, so that's the face recognition as well, to do the job application. So the third one is about theft and the BSD. So cargo theft detection cameras can be installed in both the rear of the trunk or both sides of the trunk, the cargo. You can see we have the playback of this one. When the theft happens, we have the playback. So we can provide those video to the police officer or to the insurance company. Especially for the heavy truck. So the possibility of accident like the blind spot detection, blind spot one will happens more often. So we have the BSD, which means for both sides of the trunk. So we can have 3 different levels of alarm, like 3 meters and 2 meters away and 1 meter away. So we can have the notification to the drivers. Also, we can have Siri outside to notify the passengers, the pedestrians, to get far away, get away from this region. That region is dangerous region. Yes. And the last one is about load sensing. So load sensing, we detect the cargo status to find out if it is open correctly or closing correctly, and we can provide a real-time live view or playback to our fleet managers there. So that's about the AI ability that the Streamax can help. So all the different cameras installation locations or the DVR selections are different. So if you have any requirements, just feel free to contact our staff. And that here is the most exciting part. Actually, we want to say hello about the AI dashcams. So this is our AD Plus. We call it all-in-one dashcam virtual copilot. So why we call it all-in-one? Actually, as you can see, it has two lens, one for the front road monitoring, another one for the cabin monitoring. And also it can be installed in the front windshield. And we combined the two lens together into one device. It's very tiny and easy installation. And why we call it virtual copilot? So it has two channels of AI, and one is ADAS, another one is DSC, driver safety cabin. And when you want one of the DMS functions, so you can add DMS cameras to full DMS capabilities as well. And there's four keywords for this product. So clear, wider, smarter, and simpler. So why we call it clearer? Because this is the first 5 megapixel lens in this industry. Compared with other normal ADAS lens, they usually are 2 megapixels only, and we are 5. So obviously you can see more details from that video. And also the DSC camera inside facing the cabin inside, that lens is 2 megapixels, while some other cameras they are 720 pixels. And the second one is wider. So the ADAS detection range is 70 meters. That's a long distance. And the field of view is 103 degrees, while other normal ADAS cameras is 42 degrees only. So you can obviously see wider and with more details, so we can achieve more AI functions. Yeah? And the DSC detection range, the field of view is 148 degrees, while normal DMS cameras is 65 only. So we install that DSC with that dash cam, you can obviously see the whole details of the whole cabin. So with one camera. So that's the reason we call it wider. Another one is a smarter. So that means for the ADAS functions and the DSC. So we have two channels AI, and we want to combine some other functions like add one more DMS cameras. We can have the DMS capability as well. So the last one is simpler. Simpler because the installation process is optimized from 8 steps to 3 steps. So the installation time is shortened from 1 hour 25 minutes into 15 minutes. So we will definitely save the local cost. And also we added the ADAS auto calibration in the DSC auto calibration as well. So those things we have done the calculation. The cost will decrease about 82% compared with the other dashcam devices. So we definitely save a lot of time just to make it easier. Yeah. So that's all about the hardware solutions about Streamax. We of course we have some other solutions like multiple channel solutions. We have 4 channels DVR, 8 channels DVR. If you have any requirements, just feel free to contact Uffizio and Streamax. Thank you, and let's hear from Franz what about the platform side. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that information, Leon. It was really great. And I think we all have a better understanding of how smart dashcams work. And of course, Streamax's AD Plus dashcam, it sounds so good to be true. So thank you for that wonderful explanation. Now, I'd like to start by talking a little bit about Uffizio's fleet management solution. And I'd like to do that first by talking about alerts. Now, I know that alerts is a pretty common feature and almost all fleet management systems today offer them. But getting those alerts in real time so that you, as a fleet manager, has enough time to respond, react to a situation that's happening on the road is crucial. And we at Uffizio can help you with that. So as you can see on the screen, we have designated the AI Video Telematics alerts into 2 basic categories. The first is ADAS and the next is DMS. Now, before you select or add an alert or customize an alert, you simply have to choose the category. And once you select ADAS or DMS, you'll be able to see a drop down with a bunch of alerts that we offer on the platform. Under ADAS, we offer multiple alerts. The first is forward collision warning. With the help of road-facing cameras or dual dash cams, we can basically scan the road and traffic conditions. Now, if your drivers are driving too close to the car ahead, or they're tailgating, or they're traveling at a speed at which collision is guaranteed, So in all these scenarios, the forward collision warning or the FCW warning will basically be triggered. You'll get notifications, and hopefully with the help of this, you'll be able to send medical assistance to your drivers, or you'll be able to contact your drivers as soon as you get this notification. The next is the lane departure warning. We're all familiar how reckless lane changing and lane departures can lead to brutal accidents. Now, sometimes these lane departures, they're done consciously by reckless drivers who have made it a habit to drive like that. But other times it happens when the driver is incapacitated because of lack of sleep or because the driver is simply distracted. Now, in such scenarios, lane departure warnings, in my opinion, can be of great help because they help drivers basically alert drivers when they drift off a lane. And these warnings continue until the driver takes some sort of corrective actions. So I think these alerts are really helpful in bringing or refocusing the driver back on the road in case they are distracted. The third warning is the pedestrian collision warning, and I know Leon's talked about it a little bit. So with the help of smart dash cams and artificial intelligence technology, these cameras can actually recognize real people or bicyclists on the road. And if your driver is headed towards a frontal collision with a pedestrian or a bicyclist, then we will basically alert you. Next is the forward vehicle start alert. Now, being stuck in slow-moving traffic, I know it's pretty exhausting, and sometimes drivers they may be distracted, and they don't even notice when the traffic begins to move. So here, the forward vehicle start alert can be really helpful. So every time the vehicle in front of you starts moving after braking or a severe halt, it notifies you. So basically, you can keep up with the moving traffic. The next is headway monitoring warning. Now, I know everyone is familiar with the idea of braking distance. So, and keeping sufficient braking distance, which is the minimum amount of distance required by a vehicle to come to a complete stop. Now, leaving enough braking distance, I think, is the key to avoid rear-ended collisions. And since we're all hoping for better safety, avoiding all sorts of collisions, either it's frontal, rear-ended, or sideways, is important. And our solutions can help you make sure that you have 360-degree safety of your fleet and your drivers. Now, many drivers, especially the drivers of heavy commercial vehicles, they underestimate the amount of time which is needed for them to come to a complete stop. And I pointed out heavy commercial vehicles because they're longer and they have much more momentum than a simple car like a sedan. So the headway monitoring warning is basically issued, and it allows your drivers to keep a safe distance from the car in front of them. What's interesting about this alert is that you can actually customize the distance that you want your fleets to leave. For example, say you're a fleet manager who looks over trucks, and you want that all your trucks should travel at least 15 meters or 15 feet away from the vehicle in front of them. So that value, the number 15, you can actually customize based on your company policy. So you can either have it 10 feet, 20 feet, whatever works for you, you can do that and customize this alert into something that makes sense for you. So I think that's something to look out for when you're using our platform. Next is the traffic sign recognition warning. And I really like this because, dash cams like the AD plus cameras, they are equipped with image processing and identification technology like Leon's mentioned, and they can actually interpret traffic and signals on the road. So for instance, when your driver doesn't stop at a red light, or your driver doesn't stop at a stop sign, the cameras will identify this as a violation and will basically send you an alert. So if you're a fleet manager, you'll get notified when your driver breaks a traffic safety rule. And I think that is really important for fleet managers because you don't want to end up with unnecessary fines since just because your driver broke a traffic rule, right? The next category of alerts is under DMS. So DMS basically makes sure that when your drivers are behind the wheel, their focus is on the road. Poor habits like smoking, eating, drinking, or even texting while driving, it can lead to fatal accidents, and it can also risk your driver's life. which is why, with the help of dual dash cams, wherein the first lens of the camera is facing towards the road and the next lens is facing towards the driver. So these cameras are particularly important in making sure or actually monitoring the attention of the driver. For example, if your drivers are feeling sleepy or they're nodding off, or maybe they're displaying erratic eye movements. So all of this, everything from the face emotions to the eye pattern to the neck movement, everything can be recorded by these dash cams. And these basically can alert you if your driver is doing something which you don't want them doing behind the wheel. Another interesting use of driver monitoring system is for driver attendance and authentication. Now, sometimes drivers may let other people get behind the wheel. And if that is something which you don't want, you can basically opt out for driver authentication alerts. So that way you'll always make sure that it's only your drivers who are driving behind the wheel and no one else. And then this can also be used for driver attendance. So you don't have to manually do it every day. So I think this was all about the kinds of alerts that we offer on our platform. A couple more things about these alerts. So as I mentioned, all these alerts are customizable. You can edit them based on your business needs. And you can also change the way how you get these alerts. So we offer SMS alerts, email alerts, text messages alerts, and phone calls. And you can customize how you want to receive these alerts based on the severity of the violation. For example, for severe violations like pedestrian collision or frontal collision, okay, these are severe on-road issues. For that, you may opt in for a phone call instead of a simple text message. So by doing this, you will always know when something major happens on the road with your drivers, and you will never miss out on anything. So you get a holistic view of the road, of the traffic, as well as your drivers. And I think that is simply great about our platform's alerts. All right, moving on. So now let's talk a little bit about driver scorecards. Now, driver scorecards is the best and the easiest way to rate your driver's performance. And with the help of ADAS and DMS violations, now you can actually produce holistic driver scorecards that rate your drivers not just based on data, but on audio and video evidence. So as you can see on the screen, under DMS violations, you can see several parameters, and the same goes for ADAS. Now, all these parameters are placed next to a scale. So based on the severity of the violation, you can basically rate your drivers. So for example, some parameters like collisions, for that you can penalize your drivers heavily because that's a major violation that you want to address, and you want to make sure that your drivers don't repeat such actions. But for smaller, violations, for example, yawning or drinking water, you might cut them some leeway and penalize them slightly less. So in this way, you'll basically be able to customize based on what you think is important for the safety of your driver and fleets. I think this way of rating your drivers, it increases transparency and it builds organizational trust, which I think is really important. It's important that your drivers trust you because you're monitoring them throughout the trip. And in return, you should be able to produce some evidence which can help them trust you back. And I think such driver scorecards can exactly do that. All right. So this was all about driver scorecards on Uffizio's fleet management platform. Moving on to how you can view quick analytics on our dashboard and live tracking screen. So basically, dashboard is Uffizio's fleet management's first screen. It's one of the first screens that you'll see when you log on to our fleet management platform. And right here, you'll be able to see ADAS and DMS violations. So you can actually view how many violations and what kind of violations were committed by drivers in a matter of seconds. Now, the purpose of providing the dashboard with such quick statistics is to help fleet managers save time and also to help them react immediately without them falling into the nitty-gritties of charts and reports. Not to discredit the value of big data, like we do understand the importance of charts and historic data. However, access to such quick analytics can make your life simpler, easier, and can initiate quicker reactions to anything. So Especially when we're talking about fleet managers whose everyday job is, monitoring 100 or 200 drivers every day. So in that case, monitoring every driver may not be the easiest thing. So for that purposes, we have provided quick analytics on dashboard itself. So you have, actually can speed up things. You can speed up your analysis with the help of such quick insights. All right, moving on. Now I want to talk a little bit about playback violations. So as you can see on the screen, that is a live tracking screen of Uffizio. And as you may notice, in just one click, you have evidence to driver violations. So for fleet managers, like I mentioned, they are busier than you actually think, right? And combing through each and every minute of MDVR footage is exhausting. So even if you invest in best technology, and even if you get the best dashcams that are available in the market, it won't help you unless you have the technology to sort through the video quickly and come to critical moments which actually matter. So as you can see, in just a single click, you were able to actually review high definition video of a critical moment. In this case, the driver was on the phone call, which generated an alert, and the recording basically got uploaded on the server for you to review. So I think this is a great feature that Uffizio offers to its users, and it has several advantages. Firstly, of course, it's going to save time. It's going to make you more productive. Secondly, it's going to help you stay on top of all violations. So with the help of such features, you'll rarely miss on a driver violation. You can also, add violations like harsh driving, harsh braking or overspeeding, and you can get video screenshots for those as well. And then finally, with your drivers driving safe and with your drivers being compliant, you will definitely improve fuel economy and the health of your vehicles, which was, I think, one of the pain points which we discussed about was managing fuel costs. And I think with the help of such quick insights and video playback systems, you can actually manage not only your drivers, but also your fuel and your fleet, overall fleet health. So I think this feature is just it's just great. Okay, moving on, I do want to talk a little bit about data and reports. So in our platform, we basically have two distinct reports for ADAS and DMS. The first is the driver-wise event summary, and the next is the object-wise event summary. Now, both these reports, what they do is basically let you know everything you need to know about ADAS and DMS violations on a single screen. So you will basically know what the name of the driver is, what fleet he was basically driving, or what car he was driving, along with the name of the object. You'll basically know what kind of violation was committed. So like I mentioned, we have under each category, we have a multiple alerts which get generated. So you'll be able to see which of those alerts were generated when the driver was basically driving on this trip. You'll be able to see how did it happen, when did it happen, and what time did it happen. So everything, a holistic view of how your driver, say, got into an accident will be in front of you in a single screen. I think the most intriguing part about this report is the play video option, wherein in a single click, you'll be able to see video evidence of how your drivers were basically driving. You'll also be able to download the video and share it for better driver coaching, or you can also share it with a concerned stakeholder. Another interesting use of such videos is basically that you can use it to exonerate drivers. Now, sometimes accidents happen, and since you're on the roads are unpredictable, and so because of these accidents, you may have to battle false insurance claims. So in that case, you have video evidence, which is basically considered in the court of law. So if you're battling an insurance claim, you can basically use this evidence and exonerate your drivers. So I think that was all from my side. These were some of the quick highlights of what Uffizio does with its AI video telematics solutions. Now, moving on, I know we did talk about the solutions, and the benefits of the solution are inherent, right? So, but we still would like to spell it out for you. So here are some quick benefits of using Uffizio and Streamax's solution. Leons, would you like to start? Leons, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Thank you actually for introducing the user platform. The functions of some like real-time alerts, customized driver scoreboards, and access to the driver behavior details of dashboards and playback live view and report something else. That's really useful for the end users, and also for the fleet managers. And according to the AI solutions we provided before, we find out those benefits we can provide to our customer, like the driver assistance, especially for the heavy trunks. Those AI functions such as ADAS, EMS, DSD, and G sensor detections can help to reduce those accidents, which caused by lack of operation experience of large vehicles. So that's when we can help our drivers and the fleet managers. And second benefits of that is operation visibility. So you can get the real-time access to the fleet schedules, access to the log views. So that's the second visibility. Second, the benefits. And the third one is we can do the driver acceleration. So we can access to the video of the accident instant with cloud connected platform. Those videos could be provided to the insurance company and easier to help driver to do the driver acceleration. So there are three more main benefits from the platform side. And let me hear from Prachi what about the details.
Sure, thank you so much. So I think I would like to expand on three more benefits, which I think are really important. The first is driver coaching. Like I mentioned, with intelligent insights and contextual evidence, you basically will be able to train your drivers and provide them in-fleet assistance when needed. Next is reduction in theft. So like we mentioned, theft of precious cargo and goods during transit can be mortifying, right? So with the help of cargo-facing cameras or driver-facing cameras, you can actually make sure that your goods reach to their destination without any tampering or pilferage. And the third, but the most important one, I guess, is compliance. So every business has a set of compliant rules that it wants its drivers to follow. And you can exercise this, especially with Uffizio's fleet management platform. So with customizable alerts, customizable driving scorecards, and customizable reports, you can basically make sure that your drivers are driving exactly the way you want. And this way you will also increase transparency, trust, and fairness in your business, which I think is, again, really important for the logistics industry. All right, moving along, I'd like for Leons to quickly explain how a combination of Uffizio's fleet management platform and Streamax's hardware solution would look like in action. So Leons, over to you.
Yeah, so next one, I'm going to show how video telematics makes sense during the whole driving process. So, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So we divide them to the 6 different scenarios. So during the driving time, firstly, we can continuously detect the bad driver schedules and the forward road conditions and give it a long in time to avoid more serious accident. So in that one, we can provide the real-time alarm to the platform on the right side. And the second one, during the turning, especially for the heavy trunks. So the blind spot is always dangerous area for both drivers and the pedestrians. Every year, there are always many accidents because of crashes in the blind spots. So you can install the blind spot cameras in both sides of the trunk. In that case, they can notify the driver if there is alarm. If there is a passenger too close to the trunk, so we can provide the alarm. And also there's one buzzer set outside to remind the pedestrian get far away from the dangerous area. So in this way, you can avoid more terrible accidents happening in the blind spot. And besides the SD, so there are multiple multi-channels capability of hardware to help drivers in fleets in many other scenarios as well. The third one is when you stop and rest, drivers are faced with challenges such as stealing some higher value cargos, so which is very pain point for both the fleet and the cargo owners. So we can also have the cargo monitoring cameras to provide the evidence to the insurance company and the police officers. The fifth one is when the loading and unloading So that also during the cargo loading, unloading, the solution can provide micro-channel videos to help you to know what exactly happened. And also, if there is damage of cargoes, videos can be offered the proof and help to find out the reason. The sixth one is when you need a remote monitoring function. So using the Uffizio platform to get the real-time alerts and customize the driver scorecards and so many other functions to help you to solve everything. So that's all about the scenario introduction, and then it is over to Prachi to use the closed loop management solutions.
Thanks, Leon. So I'll quickly take the audiences today through the closed loop management solutions. And then we'll move on to the Q&A session because I know a lot of questions are filtering in. So with the help of AI dashcams installed in your fleet, you basically start to record as soon as your driver turns on the engine. So as you can see in the first image, your driver turns on the car or your fleet, and then the recording begins, after which any violation that happens during the driving time, they basically get recorded and they get uploaded on the cloud. Just in minutes after the violation happens, the fleet managers, they will be able to review those violations on the web application or on the mobile application. And then with that, they can use that as a medium to coach their drivers and enhance safety. So this is how safety gets propagated with the help of Uffizio's fleet management platform and Streamax's hardware solution. All right, moving on to the most awaited Q&A session. Joining with us today is Mr. Vineet Badra from Uffizio, who is Uffizio's business analyst, and he will basically be taking over the Q&A session. So please direct all your software-related questions to Mr. Vineet, and Leon here will answer all hardware-related questions. So over to you.
Hi, I'm Vineet Badra. I'm happy to take out this Q&A session. Let's check out all the questions one by one. We have one question that how we can access the live streaming videos application. So we have the option from mobile and web as well. So from the single click, you can check all the channels available on the device and access the video lively. And also there is a snapshot functionality, so you can snap the pictures and get download on your local machine or on your mobile app device. Okay. We have one question. If I'm wearing sunglasses and a mask while driving, so will it monitor the distraction and yawning? So Leon, can you help on this?
Yeah, Vinit. So I can find out the ask and answers. There's some questions, so I will ask them those questions one by one. So the first one is from Mr. Khan. So he asked, if are wearing sunglasses and the mask during the driving, so will it monitor the distraction or yawning? So the answer is that there's several different types of sunglasses. So if the sunglasses is infrared blocked sunglasses, in that case, our DMS camera cannot detect the status of the eyes because all the lights are blocked. So in that case, we cannot detection if the driver are distraction or not. And if it is normal sunglasses, we can still find out the status of the eye status. So in that case, we can still detect the distractions. And the yawning, if you wear a mask, definitely we cannot detect that one because we cannot see the status of mouse. So that's the first question. And the second question, is it possible to unblock the car by using face recognition if immobilization connection are made? So the answer is no, because our device is connected to the vehicle, we need to start the engine, and in that case, our device is hold on, and then we can do the face recognition. The third one is talking about the time required to stop in safe distance point. What features generally are taken into consideration? So yeah, that is the safe distance point as well, and also we can have the data of the vehicle speed. So in that case, usually the forward collision warning, the threshold can be set, but we set it in seconds. Usually the time is 2.7 seconds. So if that time of the collision warning is lower than 2.7, in that case, we should alarm. So the first one is, can I connect more cameras to the dash cam? Yes, So the dashcam has two channels already. Totally will support four channels for that dashcam. So another question is from Rakesh. So how much GPS data required if the both camera are installed? So that's hard to say, but we can tell the frequency. So every 3 seconds, we can refresh the GPS data. And if the driver turning his head to see the underside rear view mirror with that general distraction warning. So the distraction warning logic is like this. So we combine the mouse to eyes and to detect the angle of that one. And also we can set up the duration time. So if he looks the rear view monitor mirror in a short time, which that time can be set. So in that case, we want to allow after you look at the mirror for a long time because you not focusing on the in front of the driver, so that will generate some risks as well. So in that case, we should allow. So all that duration time can be set. And DMS camera detect only the cigarettes or both cigarette and smoking. Actually, DMS camera detect smoking only. So combine the cigarette shape and also we need to have the smoking the actions as well. And what the maximum number of channels can be viewed in the same screen of Uffizio. So that's for the left side. Minute, could you please answer the question?
Yes, we have the question regarding application that how ADAS and DMX event works in the application. So in application, when the alarm event is forwarded through the device, the alerts get generated on the application, and through the alerts, either it is notified on the web or mobile application through SMS or email, and also the clip which has been forwarded for that event is recorded and mapped to that event. So so it can be returned as an evidence in case of any legal claims.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so another one is from Shakala. So it shows that does the camera work with the English is off, like the live stream or any panic videos. So yeah, sorry, because the power is from the vehicle itself. So when the English is off, so there will be no power. But the data saved before we start in the car, you can still get the effect of the storage as well. So what the estimated data consumption dashcam amounts on the live streaming? So actually that depends on the how many channels you have and what the resolution is set on the dashcam. No worries, you can send the requirements to our Streamax team and the Uffizio team. We can calculate that for you. That's the as you can see from the questions, there's some emails addressed there. That's feel free to contact us.
Okay. So we have one question that what is the maximum number of channels can be viewed at same screen in Uffizio? Okay. So it depends on the device. So what are the channels are configured on the device, and you can configure the count of channels while adding the device. So at a time, those channels will be loaded on the video player. So you can check out uh, through getting enlarged it, or you can view it on the same screen at once.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question we have, sorry, does camera work when ignition is off, like live streaming or any panic event videos? Yes, the device has the feature, whether the ignition is off, it records the continuous live stream. Means you can access the live streaming through the application, uh, and also the event is been recorded, and you can check out as a playback in the history. Okay, there's a question, what is estimated data consumption for dashcam on per month on live streaming? So Leon, can you help on this?
Yeah, so as you know that dashcam has four channels. So each channels have different resolution configurations and also so that one depends on how many channels you connected, what's the resolution of each camera. So if you can send more details to our email address, we will answer you by sending the details and the calculation for you. Yeah, okay. Next one.
Next question is, what will be the cost of hardware ADAS? Do you need any specific GPS device for same like integration with Uffizio? So cost of hardware will be shared from the device team. So just raise a requirement or given email ID on the screen. and also send us the detail of the device which you want to use. So our Uffizio team will forward the details to port the device on the live server IP and the port which you have to be configured on the device. So your device will be get active. Our next question is, what is the angle at which dashcam can monitor? So Leon, can you help on this?
Yeah, of course. So from the specification says, so for the ADAS one is 100.104 degrees monitor for the ADAS camera, and DS camera is 140 something 40 degrees monitor. So that's the angle.
Okay. So next question is, it is any sensor if the steering of truck is moving unfriendly in critical situation like the driver is eating something during drive. So there will be event of a distraction available in the device. So this event will help you out for this situation to get the alarm. Are there any drawbacks of system or opportunity points that you are looking to improve? Uh, so we are continuously improving on integrations. So what are the new features will be available from the device in future that will be enhanced in the application, and also the device team is continuously enhancing on the hardware. So what are the features are updated? It will be, I think, updated from the photo. I think I'm right, Leon.
Yeah. So the next one, right?
Okay, and we have some questions more. Do you have any mobile app for driver? How it communicates with the device? So mobile app for, we have the mobile app for the driver, which works through the application. Okay, and to communicate with device, there is another application which is used for the configuration of the device. The Streamax camera, they have backup battery in case of power disconnection. So Leon, can you help on this?
Yeah, for the dash cam, we don't have the backup battery, but for some other plans, we can provide the UPS. So that in that case, we can, in case of power disconnection, we can provide that one to be installed on the vehicle and provide the backup power. Yes.
Yes. The second question is, the device works on 2G or 4G or both? Yes, both SIM are supported, but if you want the video quality, you can go for the 4G for proper live streaming and event capture. Camera available for passenger counting. So can you, Leon, can you help on this? Means can camera count the persons?
Yeah. For the 80 plus, it doesn't have these functions, but we do have some other functions, other cameras or other solutions to do the passenger counting. So that's in the fast solutions. If you want more details, feel free to contact our Streamax email address and we can answer you that. Thank you.
Does we have a mobile app for fleet manager? Does it support video? Yes, we have the application for the fleet managers. They can track all the vehicles available in their login, and also it supports the live streaming, snapshot playback, and also the event clip playback functionality with the DMS and ADAS reports. I think we have covered most of the questions. So I will just hand over this to the Prachi.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. So thank you so much for taking over the Q&A session, Mr. Vineet. And Leon, thank you for answering all the questions. So now I think it's time to wrap up this session. To our audiences who are still joined in, thank you so much for being with us. And if you have any questions or further queries, so their email IDs of both the companies present on the slide. So please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you with any queries or questions that you have. Once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Streamax for collaborating with Uffizio. It's been a great pleasure working with you, especially Leon. You were great. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you so much for everyone who joined today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. It's really our honor to be here to show our solutions. I hope we can improve the safety of the fleet of the drivers. So that's all we want. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye and good night.
Bye and good night. Bye.